everyone, welcome back to my channel. Lovely to have you join me again today. I hope you guys are all well, and to lots of the new ladies that have joined my channel, I just would like to say a very warm welcome, and lovely to have you. And of course, to all of you that support me week in and week out, a very warm welcome to you guys too, and a big hug. I am now sort of focusing quite a lot on the Christmas sort of ideas, because obviously I want to get quite a few done, and it's always nice to get your Christmas stuff done and not have to panic in the last month. So hopefully I'm going to inspire you with a couple of ideas. So the one I'm going to make today is a surprise, and it involves an envelope, and it's another lovely gift idea to make for family members or really good friends, or well, anybody really that you feel you need to would like to spoil with something special. So I have got a big envelope here. This is what we would call an A4 envelope in the UK. But I have made some measurements here, and I can tell you that we are looking at, in centimeters, around 31.5 there or thereabouts in length, and 23 centimeters in width. And if you're looking in inches, it's 12.5 centimeters from there to there, and 9 inches that way. So I'm going to do something I did very similar version of an envelope that I did a while back, but with a few tweaks, so, and obviously with a Christmas theme. So what I've done here is, the very first thing I've done is I have just taken off an absolute sliver off the end of this envelope, which would be a 1/16 of an inch, or like a couple of millimeters. So that's just to make this end opposite the flap open. So that's what I've done there. And then turn that over, and I've got a couple of measurements for you here. So I have divided it up into 3, but it's not 3 even sections. I've got just short really of 10 centimeters here, or 3.75 inches. I've got just about 11 centimeters in the middle, which is about 4.25 inches, and then the last little third here is 11.25 centimeters, or 4.5 inches. So that's what we have got there, and it has an opening over here as before. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on, and you'll have to hang on till the end to see what it's going to look like, because it's really late on a Friday. I've just finished work. I'm now on holiday, and it's pretty close to midnight at the moment. So I'm so sorry I didn't have one to show you beforehand. So I don't know what time I'm going to be getting to bed after I've edited this and loaded it up for you all for tomorrow. Well, today really. So let's get ahead and do this. I couldn't face not giving you a video, so I'm going to just apologize up front. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we are going to turn this over to the outside edge. This is going to be our outside, and this bit over here is going to be our inside. What I've done over here is I've divided this area, so I think it was 9 inches, so I divided that into 4.5 and drawn a line, or 12.5 centimeters, and just divided this into 2 even sections. So just the first line there. Okay, so we're going to turn this over like that. So this is the outside, and what I've done is I have cut out a couple of Christmas panels to go on here, and the kit that I have used for this one I've changed now, because I've been eyeing this kit out for ages, and it's one from my Porch Prints called Shabby Pink Christmas, and I just had to do it because, you know, I'm a pink nut. So I am sorry for people who think I just do a lot of pink. I just can't help myself, and I really wanted to have a go at this. So this is two of the pages that I've used here for the outside, and isn't that just such a lovely image? I just love that. So it's so subtle with golds and creams and pinks, and oh, just so pretty. Touches of aqua here and there as well. Okay, so what I've done is just make sure that I've got the right pieces for the right section. That piece is going to go on here. This one's going to go in the middle over here, and this one is going to go at the end. And then what I did was I've also cut out a bit to cover that flap as well. So that's what we're going to stick on over there like that. Okay, so got two options here. You can either just glue this down, and that is what I'm going to do. But if you're wanting to sew a decorative edge around the edge there, then just make sure that you don't use a glue that's going to, like this glue for example, doesn't stitch very well, so I tend to use my glue stick for this kind of thing. But if you're not going to stitch, and you don't need to, then just make sure that you do glue right up to the edge. Alright, so that's what I would suggest. As I said, I'm going to use my Uhu glue stick, and I'm going to just put it pretty much slightly away from the edge. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope that you guys are all working on some of your Christmas projects too. I always struggle to get things done in time, so I thought I'd start earlier, especially if you were struggling for ideas, and that way you can then have plenty time to make what you need to make for everybody, because it is a big task if you're making things for Christmas. There's always so many recipients, so you know, we want to make sure we don't have to rush that, because I hate being under pressure for things. I don't like that at all. Okay, so we've got that down there. I'm going to stick this one down as well. So there we go. Of course you can use any glue you like here. I just know that when I am going to I'm just having a think. This is going in all directions, but I think I'm going to have it like this. Just getting my thoughts together here. And at least with a glue stick, it's a little bit more forgiving. Just want to see how I'm going at the top here. I think that looks about right. Yeah, okay. So there we got the front bit on. Oops. And I will stitch around that, so that's all right. And then of course we've got this one now. I'm going to stitch around it, but I just want to run some, well, let's first do the glue stick. I think I'm going to do the glue stick there, but on the inner side here I just want to put some glue close to the edge here, because I won't be stitching on this side. So this glue, I know, will stick and stay there, so that's always helpful. Right, so let's get this like this, and a little bit more, a little higher. Not always the easiest thing to do when you're trying to keep your head out of the way of the camera, you know, as you do. Right, so there we go. Got that all done. Aren't those colours just gorgeous? Right, so that's looking great. Happy with that. Now, what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm just going to do some stitching on these edges here quickly. But of course, you're not going to stitch on this edge here. So my favorite trick is always just to put a peg there, and then I know not to stitch on that area there. All right, so forgive me, but I will go and do this, and I'll join you back here in a moment. Okay, so you can see I have stitched around all the edges pretty much, and that has just given it a nice feel. It's also, I've stitched down here and across there as well, just so that we've got two separate pockets over there. Okay, so that's that side pretty much done. What I'm going to do now is I want to sew on 2 buttons quickly, because that's going to be our closure. So I'm just deciding now, do I want to use these buttons or do I want to use these buttons? And I probably think I'm going to go for the latter. I don't really like these ones. So I'm going to just turn this over and just see where I need to put these buttons before I stitch them on. So I just want to get my pen and going to just put the one in the middle. So I'm using my board here just to see where the middle is. So the middle is going to be over here. So I'm just going to make a little these are nice vintage buttons. I do like them, but I thought they were going to be pretty pale, and they are, but it doesn't matter because that's not what I want to stand out there. So that's where I'm going to put the one knot, and then the other button I'm going to just put down here, and I think that's sort of aligned. So I'm just going to put that on there like that. Okay, just make those a bit darker so I can see them. Okay, so we can open that up again. So I've got a needle and thread here with some embroidery thread. Right, so we've got our needle threaded. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my pokey tool quickly and a little piece of foam from a piece of packaging that I had, just to make these little holes here. And then I think the other ones are down here. It's a good thing that I made marks here, otherwise I wouldn't remember where they were. Right, so we're going to sew these little buttons on because that's going to be a closure for us when we have this all sorted. So I'm going to just do upside down there quickly. Oops, so that just fell out. That was really not very good, was it? Right, so I'm going to sew these buttons on, and I'll probably meet you back here afterwards because I don't want to make this video overly long, and I'm sure you know how to sew buttons on. Alright, so there I have the buttons sewn on. So that's great. So when we fold that back up, then that's going to align, and we're going to put a tie on there. Right, so what I want to do is turn this back over. I want to grab some of my favorite go-to. This is just my masking tape, and I just want to secure that there by doing this. You don't have to do this, but I just do it. And then again over the top one as well. And then what you can do, just to reinforce your envelope, and this is also optional, but you want to have something that's going to be durable. So I like to just put a bit of this in the fold lines, because after all it is paper and you want it to be able to last. So I've just got this 1 inch. In fact, I'm going to make that just a little bit shorter. I don't want it to stick out of the paper. So you know, you can use whatever you have really, even washi tape if that works for you, or fabric, you know. A little bit shorter, Angela. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that down there like that. Right, there we go. So we've got that reinforced, so I'm happy with all of that. So I'll get my bone folder out, and I'm just going to make sure that this is really attached, as you do. Okay, so we've got that all looking great, and that's folding nicely, and that's got to be able to fold again, and it does, and I'm loving these papers. Right, so we're up to speed now. So what we want to do now is we want to start covering the inside layers, and I won't be sewing these, so I've taken some more papers here, and again I've used those ones which I love, and oh, this has got to go. Let me just talk you through what I'm doing here. So I know that one goes there, that one goes there, and that one goes there. So what I've done is I've cut pieces to fit in each one of these areas, and I've got this lovely like old gold paper. It's part of the kit, and that's going to go there. And then what I did was I printed one of this actual page on vellum, and I'm going to stick that on there like that, onto that page, because we're going to slot some things in there. And then what I did over here, I just fitted in, and I probably need to trim it now because I have glued this. I've just traced the edge of the flap there, and then gone a little bit further down just to the, because you can see this sort of goes down a bit. I've just gone slightly below that and just measured it straight across. But because I've stitched here now, I'm sure I'll have to trim this, which I will. So this is just making a guesstimate here. I'm going to just take a little bit more off that side there, and the same of that side there, just because I have stitched it and it has made it slightly narrower, of course. So you live and learn. All right, so that'll be better, and that can stick down there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, rather than put you through all of this, I'm going to speed up my my gluing, and I'll catch up with you once this is all down. Okay, so I'll start with this side here. What I've done there is I've stuck on this piece by the flap here. I've stuck on the three sides there. This I nearly said glassine. It's not glassine, it's vellum that I've stuck on there, printed vellum. Then I've stuck on this piece in the middle, and I'm about to stick on this piece, but what I've got to do is, before I can stick this piece down, I've got two little envelopes that I want to attach to the piece before I stick it down. So what I've got here is, let me just grab it. I've made these two little envelopes up from papers from the kit, and I've layered it with some fabric and little labels that are from a separate kit, but also all from my Porch Prints. And what I've done there is I've just used my little mini envelope number C, or mini CD I call it. It's my version of it, like a mini one, and I've used that template, cut it out, and just made these small little envelopes with the paper. And then what I've done is, at the opposite side to the flap, I've just slit off a little thin sliver there on each alternate side. So you've got the flap there, and they're going to flap up like that. So that's what I've done there. And this piece of paper is going to cover this bit here, but I've decided I want one of them this way. So this one's going to go at the bottom, and I'm going to stick that down quickly. So I'm just going to put some glue in the flap, on the flap bit, and I'm going to just don't want to get it completely up against it, but pretty close. So about 1/16 of an inch, or about 2-3 millimeters just away from the fold line there. So when you fold it, it'll lie flat. You want to make sure that that does lie flat. So there you got the one there. It's about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same and have a similar, and I am just gauging it here. I'm going to put this one on the opposite side. So that one's there, and that one's there. So again, I'm just going to put some glue on here like that, and I'm going to just stick that about there, I think. Okay, so I think that's about the right spot. It looks pretty alright, so there we go. So I'm going to stick that down like that. Okay, now I'm ready to stick this onto this piece over here. Just make sure it's not too long or anything like that. Should be right. Just want to doubly check that. I think that's right. Okay, so now what we can do is we can put glue on the underside here, and make sure you go right to the tips as usual. So what I wanted to know from everybody is, which kit did you prefer me using, or both, or what's your comments? Do you prefer classic Christmas colors for Christmas? Did you like the kit that I've started to use for the envelope project that I made, the one video before this one, so my Christmas edition one with a gorgeous little mouse? Or what is your preferences, really? That's what I'm asking you. And you must let me know in the comments, and then I'll know what to do for some of the other things that I'm planning, because it's always nice to know what you guys like. So yeah, I've got that all stuck down. Let's hope that that's, you know, all working. I hope so. You never know until the last minute, do you? So let's just try and bend that over a bit there. Okay, so there's the first bit. So right, it's coming along nicely. I've got my little flips and flaps going on here already. I want to just put a belly band in the middle here. So again, I have taken some of the let me grab it. There's a sheet that looks like that with a lot of script on, which is lovely. It's like an old gold and neutral tone, so I really love that. I put that underneath, and then I love this piece here with the old-fashioned vintage Father Christmas there. So I've just taken that, and I'm going to stick that down, but I'm going to use some of my double-sided tape, because I like to do that for belly bands. It really keeps it secure. So I'm going to stick that down. So let's just get that on there, and then the same at the bottom. We'll just do that. So I want to be doing different kinds of Christmas ideas. I have got quite a few up my sleeve. I do want to do a journal as well, so we'll see how we go. Try and get down. I've made a note of all the comments people made for various projects I'd done in the year that I had done. So I'm just like tweaking some of those, and I'm giving you a Christmas version, because lots of things are, you know, they look so good when you use them in a different theme. Right, now I just want to gauge this quickly here before I stick it down, because with this stuff, once it's down, it is down. Okay, so there we have our little band. So it's coming together really nicely now. We've got a lovely belly band here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with everything. I've got lots of ephemera to go in here. Right, so that's our front. Just loving this. Right, so what I'm going to do quickly is, let me get my widths together here. I'm going to just stick, I've made a cutout. I've got this lovely fabric, which is like got a glitzy bit of gold, and it's like holly leaves. And oops, and it went perfectly with this little label, which is part of one of the label kits. I'm just going to stick that on somewhere, I think over there. I don't, well, maybe there. So I'm going to just stick that on quickly, just to zhuzh it up, as they say. zhuzhing it up a bit here. So I'm just going to use my fabric tack because it is fabric. So we're going to just stick that on, I think we said here. So that's where it's going. And I have used a few bits of different fabrics that I have got. This is a lovely, like a ticking, which I love. And some of the images in this kit have like a little bit of ticking involved. So that was really good. So that's that. Now, is that everything I wanted to do before I start zhuzhing it up? Let's just think. I think so. Right, so let's just start getting some of these things together now. Right, so I've made some ephemera bits here, which I'll show you quickly. This is just like a little file folder that comes with the kit, and I've just put some tatting and some fabric and a little button on there. And I've stenciled in the middle, so I'm going to use that because I love that look. There's like a little bit of ticking on there. And then this is one of the envelopes that are in the kit. I've got a little jingle bell. It's got a very soft jingle. Put some fabric, made a little cluster, and that's a beautiful envelope. Look, it's got the tree on the back. Really pretty. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to have this as well, and that I'm going to put under my belly band here. So we just want to get that positioned correctly without the button catching on the belly band. Alright, so that's going to go there, and then this one's going to just go in here as well. So that's that, and then if I can just pull those up a bit and then even it out. Then I made these two little envelopes were in the kit. This one I've stuck on a piece of fabric and stitched around a little label, and I love those. Those are like little ones. Merry Christmas, look. Very, very cute. So I'm going to stick those in there. I think that way and that way. I'm very mindful of spreading the load here. Then what I did was, these are actually pages, journal pages, which I have printed to a page. So what I did was, I printed two of these to a page. They are, you know, half a page and half a page. I have then put in some board in between, stitched around them and made them double-sided journal cards, because I just love the images. Isn't that just lovely? And the same with this one. So you've got a place to write on there and a place to write on there. So I've just stitched those, and I'm going to put those, I think in here. I think I've made too much for this. Before I do that, I just want to take my bone folder and just lift this up like that, because since I've stuck the, nearly said the lid, the flap, I just want to give it a little bit of a bend. Right, so we're going to put these in here like that. One there and one there like that. So that's great. And then what I've done on the front here, I've used two of these tags. Again, I've backed them with two other tags, so I've made them double-sided. And the reason for that is because they're going to go in here. So no matter which side you look at them. Oh, I've stuck these cute little snowflakes on. Isn't that adorable? And a little piece of fabric there. So I'm going to put one in there like that. And another one in here. So those are going to go in there. I just want to make sure this is going to close. You know, there's always the closing that's required. So it should do, because that's just fabric. So that's all right. And then in these little ones over here, I've made two little shaker cards. I don't want this to reflect. So you can see I've got little snowflakes. I put sequins, seed beads, smaller sequins, larger sequins. Those ones are pink, white and silver, and I've put a little label on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this one in here, and then I've done one, I've made one for here with gold snowflakes, a slight little bit of white, blue and gold in this one, and that one's going to go in there. like that. So we're packing it all up here. Got my little envelopes there. What I thought of doing was, I've got the Christmas tickets. So these Christmas tickets are lovely. I love those, and I thought what I could do is just cut those up like that, and we could I'm having some loose, some in twos, and then this one I think I'll just leave. Look how cute that is. Aren't those birds beautiful? So this one I've got all ready and tea stained, distressed, and I'm going to just put that in there like that. Okay, so we've got quite a lot going on there. Now I've got one more thing that I've made. This is why it took me forever. I've taken my what do you call this, my template, which is template 1 on my second set of templates, and what I did was I cut out in this beautiful Father Christmas vintage paper, stuck on a label and laid up a bit there with a Christmas label. This is a silk variegated ribbon I got from Plumbowtique, which I absolutely adore. Just wanted to bring a little bit of blue because there's a little bit of blue sticking out here, as you can see. And then I've just put in a couple of tags. So I've used a little piece of Leanne's beautiful lace, which I'm trying to treasure. So you can see, Leanne, I've been very stingy there. Thank you. And then these 2 tags, which I've backed onto card. So just put a little bit of fabric there and another silk ribbon that's also variegated, which matched beautifully. And I love that image. So I've just put those in there. Double printed this paper, so that goes in there. So there we go. That goes like that, that goes like that, and this one I had in the middle, if I'm correct. Yeah, that's it. All right, so then we can just close this up again. Just bought a little bit of the blue just to match with the birds and the little blue tag there. And this is the softest ribbon, also, as I said, from Plumbowtique, which I spend a fortune at. But what can you do? If you love something, then you just love it. Yeah, there we go. So isn't that just the cutest? So that's going to slide into here, I hope. So let's just get that nicely in there. So you can see we've got a very full little wallet here. So a lovely Christmas wallet and beautiful vintage colors, which I love. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tuck down our tags at the bottom here. So we want to just tuck in those fabric pieces there. So we do that. And then we're going to just fold that over, and it closes nicely like that. So there we go. Now, in order to carry on with that, what I need is some twine. So all right, so what I've got is my Christmas twine, which is all twisted now, and I'm just going to, because this has got it's like baker's twine really. I just wanted a bit with the pink and the cream, so just sort that out in a minute. So I've just taken a piece here. I'm going to just tie it around the one button like that, and then we're able to match that up like that, lift it up, just make sure we've got that tied in nicely there, and then we can just put it around the other buttons like that. Right, now I suppose we could just knot this. Let's just take this off one, and we can just knot that. You could put beads on here if you want. Like that, and then we just cut off the bits. Right, so that's what I've decided to do there. And then I've got this gorgeous ribbon that I wanted to put on here because it just went so beautifully. So what I thought I would do is just make a beautiful bow on this pouch. So can't go wrong with beautiful ribbon. And again, this comes from Plumbowtique, and it's like a beautiful old gold. And how gorgeous is that? Yeah, so I'm quite liking that. I want that a bit. I'm not great at doing bows on camera, I will say, so I'm just going to trim that like that. We can take that out the way, and I'll have to roll that up in a minute, and then we'll do this one the opposite way. All right, and there we have our lovely Christmas pouch. So you can see we've got these beautiful pinks and golds and lovely vintage images here. So I hope you've enjoyed following along with me today. This would make a lovely gift for anybody that you want to spoil for Christmas. So I do hope that you give it a go and make a couple for the nearest and dearest in your life. Obviously, you can change it to suit whatever they are interested in, and that could be so many different things. All right, so thank you, everybody. I hope this isn't going to be too long a video, and I hope by the time I've edited it that you're all awake. All right, so thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing what you think. Let me know which is your favorite kind of Christmas kit, more classical or more pastel. Love to hear what you think about that as well. So looking forward to seeing you all very soon in the next video. Bye bye.